All right, good to have you back on the program. Well, let's kickstart with stories making the headlines on our ABS website.
Police parade three suspects over viral video of women stripped naked and beaten in Anambra. Anambra Community Choose Your Project initiative has accelerated development of rural areas, Echezona. Stakeholders call for control of human activities to mitigate adverse effects of climate change. Anambra Local Government Transition Committee Chairman asked to justify confidence reposting them. Couples in Anambra urged to assess family planning services. Buhari receives report of Technical Advisory Committee on implementation of new national minimum wage. Yeah, those are the stories making the headlines on ABS website.
Very interesting stories.
Very interesting indeed, and I think the very first one is quite interesting and disheartening.
Yeah, when I actually saw that video, it was something I was it dawned on me, and then again I was asking myself, why would a fellow woman debase her fellow woman that way?
You know, some people were saying that the woman that was beaten, that she really got what she deserved for her going to sleep with another man's wife. And then some are of the opinion, even if she did, you would have maybe done something, not something dehumaning like this.
I need people to understand something. I'm not here supporting the woman who probably went out to commit adultery or, practice infidelity. I'm not supporting that. It's a bad act. It's a bad act. But let us face it head on. Now, she actually did something bad, and the thing you could do was to flog your fellow woman like a thief, like a criminal. And that wasn't even enough that you're flogging her. You had to strip her naked and video the act
and then demanded a ransom money from her. And when she failed to do so, you uploaded the video.
And if you're watching the video, you can actually see the woman in question, the guilty woman, pleading. I think sometimes when we actually do something wrong, everyone is a sinner. Yes, there are times we deliberately sin against God, but we deliberately do what is bad. And we come ask for forgiveness. And
another question is, are you sure that the said woman knew that the man was a married man?
Well, according to reports, she said she didn't. The video that was also trending online yesterday.
But some of you guys, you can go to some.
You want to play the blame game now?
There's a website to just get whatever you want.
To play the blame game.
I'm just saying.
No, the way you actually sound like you guys.
I'm a woman, so because I don't like doing married men, So some people were like, okay, I don't know they are married, and at the end of the day, say the result.
No, but I think generally it's not a good thing. Don't go and sleep with another man's husband, or you as a man, don't go and sleep with another man's wife. Of course, we know generally it's not good, but such barbaric act, of course, you can see where it led to. In the news this morning, the suspect had been arrested, and I want to believe that they will have to face the full weight of the law.
And
so,
peradventure that you notice that your husband is cheating on you, why not do the flogging on him, not the woman?
Really?
Yeah.
All right, now let's move on to the next story. Anambra Community Choose Your Project initiative has accelerated development of rural areas, and that's coming from Echezona. Well, you agree with him, right?
Sure. I think this particular initiative has brought development to the grassroots. A lot of communities, in fact, all the communities in Anambra State can attest to that they have achieved a lot through this money, to 20 million naira given to them by the governor. And it's a good thing. And then other states around us, they started emulating us, but then they couldn't do up to 20 million.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And I must really commend the governor of the state. He's actually embarked on the third phase.
Sure.
The third phase, and it doesn't come easy. 20 million naira, I mean, where do you want to get it? And now he has done it the first time, the second time, and now the third time. Of course, it's actually improving a number of states. So kudos, and of course, we concur to what Echezona said. Stakeholders call for control of human activities to mitigate adverse effects of climate change.
Sure. Stakeholders, you and I, everyone should be involved in this. Let's just do things that will not cause harm on our climate. And as the climate is changing, I think the other effect will be on us if we do anything bad. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Your name and location.
Good morning.
Yeah. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Ifeanyi.
Ifeanyi, where is Ifeanyi calling us from?
My name is Ifeanyi.
Okay, Bright. Hello?
From Oka.
All right, Bright, go ahead. Go ahead with your
Ifeanyi from Oka, go ahead.
Contributions. All right, we lost that call. Let's quickly move on. Anambra LGTC chairman asks to justify confidence
reposting them. Yes, talking about the transition committee chairman, they were just called back to serve again, and now they are being tasked to make sure they fulfill their responsibilities. The reason why they are actually placed in that position.
All right. Hello. Good morning. All right, we lost that. And couples in Anambra to assess family planning services. That was on the news yesterday, and
sure.
It was really making the rounds. What's your take?
Yeah, it's a good thing. I think now that we know that even couples that have 2 kids, they find it difficult to train them through school, universities, and all that. So it's better for you to assess family planning so that you not give birth to as many children as you have. Even though some people will come and say that it's a sin, that God told them, that God said you should just go and procreate. But I think it's a good thing. They should assess it. Yeah, so make sure that you have just the number you can actually take care of.
All right, Buhari received report of Technical Advisory Committee on implementation of new national minimum wage. I know this one will interest you.
Yeah, of course, but I don't know why they are still receiving reports. What I want to hear is that they have started paying the money already.
Okay, not even, you wouldn't even allow them go through the...
they are taking time.
Okay, pay was here
they are
already.
Taking time. They just pay it already. You've waited enough. Don't you think so? All right. But I think that the report will also help on how to generate the revenue they will use to pay the new minimum wage.
All right, we're going for a short break. When we return, of course, we continue with the newspaper review. Don't go anywhere.
Data. We can't live without it. Share it. Impress with it. Borrow it. Sell with it.
I'm here. Calm down. Breathe.
Celebrate with it. Breathe easy, knowing that with Glow, data is oxygen.
All right, good to have you back. Well, we've been joined by a guest in the house who's going to help us with the review of the papers this morning, talking about Professor Cliff, one lecturer in the Department of UNIZIK, a lecturer in UNIZIK, right? Good to have you. Good to have you on the show. Let's kickstart with our very first paper this morning. The Daily Times story is making the headlines, the big one. Buhari APC accused PDP of illegal access to INEC server. Petition police, DSS, wants PDP leaders identified as perpetrators arrested, prosecuted. You are jittery, PDP tells President APC. Imo, 69 parties, 50 Guba candidates back Ihedioha's victory. Charge him to focus on revamping the economy of the state, prioritize human capital development. Buhari APC, NWC meets over NAS leadership. Ndume joint Senate presidency race. 6 parties blessings. Minimum wage. Rewain committee submits reports to president. Appeal court nullifies the APC primaries in Zamfara. Well, let's look at the big story. Buhari APC accused PDP of illegal access to INEC server.
Let me say that it is not proper to deny them access because after elections, if you want to seek redress, the next will be tribunal. And now for you to go to tribunal, all the necessary materials and documents, you have right to them, you know. But what I don't know is that whether they need to apply, whether they applied or did not. But they have the right to access the materials, the results, you know, for them to pursue their case.
But if this story, if the headline is to be true, it means PDP, because PDP has actually said, reports making the round that the INEC server shows that they won the election. And if APC is actually accusing them of illegal access, does it mean that they actually agree with what PDP said?
No, not that. You know, these are just claims. Okay. You know, if they feel they have a higher number of voters, it is still subject to scrutiny. Okay. But the matter is, do they have right to the server? Yes, they do. Because the server or the e-version of those materials is what they can easily go to INEC office, get certified true copies, and then pursue their case.
All right, let's go over to the next paper, the Punch newspaper. Banner headline says, INEC server Secondus case as APC wants PDP leaders arrested for illegal access. New terminals, aviation ministry seeks Senate nod for $461.8 million loan. PDP fire Shehill verdict as appeal court notifies Zamfara APC primaries. APC must have its way in the leadership of National Assembly. Coming from Oshimole, renowned poet Gabriel Okara dies at 97. And then there we'll see pictures of another building collapse. Okay, building marked for demolition collapses on its own in Lagos State. Buhari promises PD review of minimum wage report. Family kicks as vigilante shots Ogun residents dead at night. EU observer group says violence, intimidation, mad supplementary polls. All right, let's look at this statement from Oshimole. APC must have its own way in the leadership of the National Assembly.
There are such where sometimes we say talk is cheap. People are bound to have their opinion. But I also advise that we should not unnecessarily hit the body politic of the nation, you know, overcharge the system. You know, if you look at the trend now, you see there's bloodbath in Kanu, Plateau, and some other places. Some of those things are not unconnected with such unguarded statements. Because being the party at the center, you know, people might not insinuate that they will use both the military and whatever at their disposal to achieve their end. So it's not, I don't think Oshimole, and Oshimole often makes such unguarded statements, you know, so it's not good.
All right, let's quickly move on to the next paper, Daily Independent. Stories making the headlines, the very big story there. APC to zone Senate President to Northeast, Speaker Southwest. Buhari Tinubu backs Lawan Gbajabiamila for Senate President Speaker. Don't do business with PDP. Oshomole wants first-time reps. Ifeanyi Ubadi comes to APC as Buhari meets party's senators elect. Federal government plan to cut salaries, scares NNPC, CBN, FIRS workers, receives minimum wage implementation report. Court sacks APC's and Zamfara governor-elect parliamentarians. Over 1.3 trillion naira stolen under Jonathan. That's coming from Mago. Nigeria needs 10 trillion naira infrastructure bond to curb deficit, coming from the federal government. Another building collapse on Lagos Island. PDP wins Bauchi Guba pool. APC urges arrest of PDP leadership over alleged hacking of INEC server UG3. PDP tells Buhari APC. Well, let's big one. APC to zone Senate President to Northeast, Speaker Southwest.
Well, that is a party affair. You know, if they have that as a consensus, well, it's okay. But the fact there is that when they are zoning, they should not make it, it should not be compulsory that it must be this or that. Let there also be what they call it free and fair program or way of electing who will actually emerge at the Senate. Because judging from what we see now, you see somehow the House of the Senate President is also very powerful. You know, judging from what the activities of Saraki. In the past, we never had it like that. You know, it's like the executive will always dictate. But
I think it depends on the individual.
it depends on the individual. But, you know, when somebody awakens a certain consciousness, the next person is bound to key. Sure. Yes.
All right, the Nation's newspaper is next. Let's see what is the headlines.
Buhari moves to prevent National Assembly hijack. President meets with lawmakers. Oshimole, we won't share legislative power with PDP. Cut, no postmortem on Offa robbery suspect. 2 injured in Lagos building collapse. Transcorp okays $2.5 billion for power. Catholic priests adopted in Kaduna State. AFCON, Nigeria drops Libya 4-0. 1.3 trillion stolen in 4 years. Kagame Disu Edge Alliance for African digitalization. And literary icon Gabriel Okoro dies in 97. I think we should take the next paper too.
The Guardian newspaper story is the big one there. Zamfara governor's seats may be vacant as court nullifies APC primaries. INEC resumes coalition in Bauchi, Gubapo. Piano and drum stops playing for Okara as he answers call of River None. Retired generals warning influence in Nigeria's democracy. EU scores supplementary polls low on security orders. Confusion in Rivers, APC as year defects to PDP. Buhari gets minimum wage panel report, promises prompt action. 2 injured in another collapsed Lagos building. Well, let's quickly look at Zamfara governor. Seat may be vacant as court nullifies APC primaries.
Yes. Actually, let me say I'm quite glad to hear such a news, because if you are talking about separation of power, you have the executive, you have the legislators, then you have the judiciary. But for some time, let me not mention period, but it appears that the executive overshadows the judiciary. Now, I believe we now have a vibrant judiciary, that when they say this is the position of the law, it goes like that. Remember, it's also said that law is not law until given interpretation by court. The court there means the judge. So oftentimes people rush into assumptions. But when there are legal issues, it is what the court says. And when we go that way, then we have what we call rule of law, which is good for our society.
All right. Well, we can go on, and of course, talk about the things, the stuffs on the newspaper. But hey, you want to read more on it, then go out, pick the papers, and of course, get to read more on it. And this is where we're actually calling it a day on the program, Newspaper Review. Well, I want us to do a very big thank you to Professor Cliff Wanna, a lecturer in UNIZIK. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you.